are back with the special guest.
Yeah.
Be nice. We have Meecah in the house. Hi, Meecah.
Yes.
How you doing?
You're so pretty.
Very pretty.
How are
Beautiful
you?
smile.
Thank you. Appreciate
Welcome.
you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Meecah. I'm a pop R&B artist. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, 22. I'm at school at Pace University.
Nice.
Pushing my music, yeah.
So you're doing it all. You're going to school and you're really serious about music.
Absolutely,
Right.
yes.
So you came out here from Florida to go to school or to pursue music?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
I come from a family of educators, so no college was not an option.
Right.
But I go to school for musical theater, so
Okay, cool.
it's like a little bit of both.
Got
yeah.
it.
There you go. Nice.
So you started singing when you were...
Define singing. No. I started singing when I was. I grew up in the church, so
Okay.
I've always been around music. I come from a family of singers, so
Okay.
I've been singing in the choir. And my first solo song, I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
Professionally, I've been singing since I was 12.
Wow.
Nice. So since then you've known that singing was going to be your career of choice.
Yeah, definitely. I've always had a fire to perform. I just didn't have a way to identify it. And once I figured out that the two were meant for each other, I definitely was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
When you felt that fire, what did it feel like?
Like hot.
Like
No, because she don't mean hot. Don't be Angie right now.
literally like a passion, something that I don't want to say that I can't live without, but something that I really cannot see myself doing.
Not doing, right.
You know what I mean? With not doing my entire life.
Right.
And any other thing doesn't make me as happy besides performing, if that makes
So
sense.
performing your
Nice.
thing.
So
Yes.
you like performing.
Right.
Because
That's just like you. Like when we be like, I don't want to do the job.
Yeah,
This is my
yeah,
job.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you
for
know, I
sure.
get other artists. Do you write or
Yes,
do you do
I write
write?
my music.
I get other artists that sometimes they like the creative part
Right.
of
Right.
of what you do. So you like the performing part.
I like, I like it
Or both.
all. I like it all. I love to perform. I like light design, sound design. I like to create just the whole product because when it's in my head, it's just I want it to be exactly like that. So I educate myself in those type of production fields and just try to put my hands in
You
everything.
are smart.
What's your sign though?
I'm an Aquarius.
Okay. I was gonna say it had to be like something watery,
Creative.
whatever.
Okay.
Like, cause you know, a
All the
Virgo.
Pisces try to claim all of the
It's the
I
truth
mean,
though.
yeah.
Aquarius,
Very artistic.
Pisces,
Right,
Virgo.
right.
Like when she said
Aquarius
it, it
is
was.
when
It's
like
February
June,
6th.
February. Okay.
Yeah.
Early
See?
February.
Okay.
We're around.
We get it.
Do you write music for other people?
I have not, but I've always been open to it. There are some stories that I don't feel comfortable telling on my platform, but would be perfect for somebody else's.
Right.
So I've always been open to it. Definitely.
Okay. We ain't gonna get into what those stories that you know. Maybe off air.
Right.
But have you got requests like people like, yo, I like your stuff?
Not
Or-
yet.
Not yet.
Not
It's
yet. Yeah, it will be. I'm totally open to it. Definitely another lane I want to tap
Who are
into.
some of your musical influences? Like, you know, who do you look up, not look up to, but look
Right.
to or?
For sure. I think, honestly, I admire Bruno Mars. I admire Beyonce, of course. I go all the way back to Anita Baker.
Right.
The way she can command a stage, just standing there, Whitney Houston,
Yes.
the DeBarge, all of them.
I was
Michael
gonna say
Jackson.
because when you was 8, I don't
Right,
think
right.
we had the Beyonce as
Right,
prevalent
right.
and Bruno Mars.
sure.
So it's
For
gonna
sure.
need a Baker.
Yeah,
Okay.
my mom and dad definitely made sure the Commodores and all that Prince was playing.
See, that's
So
cool.
it's definitely influenced the way that I perform now.
Now, do your
Yes.
parents sing and perform and stuff?
My father plays the piano, and his side of the family is extremely musically inclined, whereas my mother is more poetry. She bakes out of this world. She's creative in that
Nice.
aspect.
World.
Yeah.
Nice.
So right now you're an independent artist.
I am independent. I'm unsigned to a label. I'm under the management of Miss Productions with Sylvia and Snipes. And we're taking the world by storm under the
That's
power
my
of
baby.
God.
She gonna get you there too.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm coming to sign over there too. That's been in the works for a while. So who would you, or is there anybody you would want to collab with?
I would cry if Bruno Mars called me up and was like, let's do it. Like, even Beyonce, like, the way that they command a stage and the way that they can really kind of not create their own genre, but just kind of, with me and Sylvia were talking, create their own lane. I would love to be a part of that process and see what I can learn from my journey.
What would you consider? That's a good segue into my next question, because I was going to say, do you consider yourself in a genre, a particular genre of music?
That's always really, really hard, because I honestly feel like some genres are just like, everything's going to kind of like top 40, and like there's just what's hot on the radio. Like that's the genre. I feel like
pop.
Yeah. I feel like I'm pop R&B with an influence of jazz, because I did grow up with all of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say jazz, when I watched your performance on Instagram, I could hear that jazziness a little bit.
And when I watched it, I was thinking about you coming somewhere next week. Come see with me, my little jazz friends. But
Right.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I see that you performed at Mist, you performed at BB King's, and the Arts Garage. The Arts Garage.
Right.
So what's another venue, or like a big, where's the big stage for you? Where's somewhere you're like, I want to get there?
I've always dreamed of performing at Madison Square Garden. That's something that even just in Florida, like my small little town, that's what, you hear. That's where people sell out Madison Square.
Yeah.
Right.
Radio City Music Hall, the Staples Center. That's places that I would like to be.
Nice. You know what else is nice? When LA does the Rose Bowl.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. South by Southwest, even that's a dream.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Apollo Girl, because
Apollo for sure.
Apollo was here before all of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's Sugar Kiki.
Right.
It's
and Steve Harvey and Kiki is still in Harlem.
Yes.
Right.
For sure.
So tell us about your new project that you're working on.
So New Moon Rising is an EP. We're working on pushing it and putting it on different platforms. Sylvia and Snipes are doing an amazing job with that. But it's just an EP that I put out. I wrote all the music to it. And it's just kind of my story. I feel like I put out a single before, a pilot, and it was a love song. But I feel like people didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? Like, and New Moon Rising is a journey of who I was to who I am, and effectively told, I think. And so we're really pushing that. I dropped the song called Melanated. It's a single. It's one of my proudest works that I'm proud of. Put a music video. Thank you.
I'm proud of it. I was like, yes, girl.
For sure.
Can you tell our supporters about that song and about that video? I just think it's a very good piece of art.
Yes, of course. Melanated is a people of color, specifically Black people, empowerment song. I feel like every person of color can relate to it, but I feel like when I wrote it, it was a love letter to myself. Because when I was growing up, the song says my mom's light skin, my daddy's dark. Like I had complexion problems because I didn't know where I would blend in and where I would fit in, especially in my city. So I just kind of wanted to write a song to say, this is what all these Black girls that are coming up need. These are what all these, women and even men of ethnic descent need, because they're literally trying to kill us. They're literally trying to extinct us. And in my head, nobody would extinct something if they weren't afraid of, like, how great they would be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So Melanated is just an anthem that I rock out, and apparently everybody's rocking out to.
Nice.
Just of self-empowerment and self-love for our culture and for our people.
Tell us about the video, because the video's dope.
Yo, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah.
We're gonna actually play it too.
Yes. Shout out to Shot by Yama. Shot by Yama and I came up with this concept. I'm obsessed with time and time travel.
Okay.
And I was just like, where do I want to go? I want to go into the 30s. I just watched Harlem Nights, and I was like, dang, but Black people didn't have a lit time in the 30s. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wanted to show that without being, with certain people, you can't be too open about the past because they kind of recoil from it. So I wanted to kind of make it digestible, if that makes sense. I hate to water down what the truth was, but if I want to reach the masses, that's what I would want to do. So I wanted to make it 1930s because that's the time aspect that I wanted to attack. And then I wanted to say, well, if I was me back then, how would I be treated? I would still have to go through the back door. And that experience of inequality, I wanted to attack. And then there was a moment, I don't want to give it too much away, where we kind of touch on the present and how it's not that much different. And then we go right back to the past and see like how far we've come and how far we need to go. So I can only hope that the message got across that way. But I really just wanted to have a wake up call and say, y'all, look, this is where we are, this is where we need to be, and this is where we're going.
Yes. Right. With so many people, I think getting messages through music and having more of an open ear when it's through music and not through conversation, that's something that I think we really need.
For sure.
You know, I have a 4-year-old. I talk about her all the time because she's my pride and joy. But that's something that I want her to know and get and understand, because, you know, to know where you're going, you got to know where you came from.
For sure.
Definitely so dope.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate it. We worked really hard.
Since we just talked about it, we might as well go to it. So you want to introduce it?
Yes. This is Melanated by Meecah, directed by Meecah and shot by Yama, here on DSN.
DSN, The Matrix Studios Network.
That was definitely so
We gotta make more noise than that.
Hey, I want to be in the next video. Like, hey, it's not even that type of video, right? So how did the Meecah pack or Pack Meecah? How did they react to that?
They loved it.
I'm sorry, Pack Meecah is her fan base and her supporters.
Yes. They loved it. We were in the we watched it at the premiere on April 7th at the Mist, and I'd never watched it with anybody. I was very, closeted about it. So to watch it with all those people in there, I was like biting my nails, like, oh my goodness, I hope they get everything that I'm trying to convey. But the energy in the room was like so powerful. And I just remember thinking like I performed that night and I was really proud of my performance, but the energy that they brought from watching that video and the fact that they got it, white and black, I was like, okay, this mission accomplished. You know what I mean? And I just went home and that's all I thought about. I was really grateful to God that what he gave me was able to reach the masses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
Thank you.
I love it. I love us.
Yes.
I really do. I'm lost, guys. I honestly am lost.
It's gonna be in my head all night.
I know. It's not meant for that. Don't stick your tongue out like that.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, this is the right thing to say. So tell all of your supporters where they can find you, what else you got going on, all of that.
Yeah. So Meecah is virtually everything. So it's Meecah on Instagram. That's it. Meecah's Music on Twitter. Meecah on Facebook. And Meecah.com for my website.
Spell Meecah.
Meecah.
Because we
there's
a lot of ways to spell Meecah.
For sure. Yeah, it's a derivative of my name.
The fact that you have that's Martin Luther King, right? I don't want to say
Yeah.
The fact I know his voice. I'm just making sure. That's super dope too. What was it like? Did you have to do something?
Yeah. Before I was blessed enough to meet my team now, I really had to do a lot of research on my own because I didn't have management and I didn't have anything. I did not want a lawsuit.
Right.
So I researched, it's really, really easy. For any of his speeches, any of his pictures, any of his videos, you just reach out to the foundation. You say, hey, I want, to use this for my project. They send you, a little form, and then you fill it out, and then, you pay what it is that they're asking for the allotted amount of time, and then it's a go.
So but you have to show them what you're using it. Like you had to let them.
Yeah, for sure. They were like, okay, this is cool, but like, what are you doing it for? Like, is this for a cookout? What is this for? And I was like, well, I'm trying to change the world.
Right, that's the right answer.
Okay, wait, let me hear the song. I hadn't had the video out yet.
Right.
So before I could copyright the song, I needed his permission.
Nice.
And they were like, okay, this is it.
That's
dope.
cool.
So she got the official
Well, that's a
stamp
thumbs
by
up
the
from-
MLK Foundation. That's dope.
Yeah, that's so cool.
It really is. You
it's
inspire
blessing.
me.
Thank you.
Right. I'm
I'm
do something with
listening
my
to you
life. I need to go become something.
No, this is an amazing place. It's an amazing setup y'all have.
Thank
it's not
you.
easy. I know from like
And
all
you
my
are
friends.
welcome here whenever.
Thank you.
However, just Tish, we coming. I'm coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Absolutely.
now we have to come
Appreciate
harass you at
that.
Miss, because I'm already harassing you at Miss, and I'm taking you away from Sylvia for Monday night. But
I will not let you corrupt this beautiful
I'm
baby.
not gonna corrupt her.
Absolutely not.
She loves jazz. We're jazz
Oh, right. Okay, I see where you're going.
Yeah,
It's a segue, my bad.
So I'm going to snatch her up.
Right.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming through.
For
Like I said, you're always invited.
Can I ask you one question before we go on? The late impromptu question.
Oh Lord.
2 things you want to happen this year.
It's 20. Okay, I want to be nominated for a Grammy, and I want to start up my own humanitarian program.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I want.
But we want to win a Grammy, actually.
Yeah.
Put that out there. Let's go.
Nominations the
Go.
win too.
Yeah.
Huh?
Nominations the win too.
I said
Yeah,
nomination
absolutely.
is because you won't find out till February of next year.
Yeah.
That's this
Okay,
year.
so
So
this year.
Right.
to be
See,
nominated.
She know what she's talking about.
Exactly. I thought she was being modest or humble.
Right. No,
My
she
bad.
knows
She's
like,
like,
no,
no, I
you
want
win
to
next
win.
year. This year I
This year
wanna
I'm
be
going to find out.
For sure.
You know, you gotta know who you're talking to. You're right. My bad. I'm gonna shut up. But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Get to Know Me. We will be back same time, same place next week.